Okay, so I've got a couple of sheets set up here. Really the first one is the only one that's got anything of value. The second sheet is just as it was to begin with, so I'm going to start by deleting that. And then using the first sheet as a template, I'm going to set up some new sheets. And so I think this is a different file to the one I did the last demo in, so it hasn't got all of the sheets that I showed you before, but that's fine. I'm going to set them all up again anyway. So you can see here we need this list of drawings. So it'll help you a lot if you have those the views required for these drawings set up on sheets, and then they'll give you a really good idea what you need to go and draw then to complete the assignment. So again, starting with this layout that I've got called Layout 1, it's going to maybe hopefully remind you how to copy a sheet or a layout in AutoCAD and get all of the setup that you've done there simply by right-clicking on the tab. You can go to Move or Copy, and then down the bottom you've got that option to tick Create a Copy, and usually it's a good idea to probably choose Move to End. So here we've got Layout 1, and obviously if I select Move to End, it'll go after that. Once I click OK, you can see my new copy, which at the moment is identical. So I'll just quickly show you that option again. Again, I'll right-click on the new one, and then again go to Move or Copy. So if you don't choose Move to End, if you choose one of the layouts, then it'll go above the one you choose, the new copy. So if I again click Create a Copy, I'll get another copy, this time in between those two layouts. Okay, so it's a fairly simple thing to copy a layout, and it's a really useful option as well. You'll often want a page set up exactly the same way as your previous page. But then you can see here we've got this title block that was okay for the last assignment, but maybe for the next assignment you'll want to do a more detailed title block. So I'll show you a few options you can use to get some different title blocks. So again, on the Insert tab, we can go to Insert, and then More Options. Obviously it's the same on the Home tab. If you go to Insert there, choose More Options. And then Browse. And so that takes me to the last folder that I used, but I'll just show you if you weren't sure what this is. I think most of you know, but again, on the P drive, Interior Design, and then we've got AutoCAD Library. So in Blocks 2D, there's another Title Blocks folder. And then again in A3, we've got slightly different title block. It's called A3 Horizontal. And I'll click Open, and then just make sure that the option to specify on screen for the insertion point is ticked, but not the others. So just that first option there on the left, and I'll click OK. And then you can see I've got a title block which actually doesn't have a top, it's just got the bottom, which is probably better in a way. And then I'm just going to click to place it. And you can see, similar to the last one, it comes up with these attributes. So here it's actually even more confusing though, because these tags aren't very easy to read. So I'm going to click OK. This is actually a good trick. You click OK just to place that title block. Then, if you double click, it'll come up with the attributes, and you might actually find that it's easier to read in this dialog box. Right, and it's all to do with the way these things called attributes are set up. And we haven't got time to go right into attributes, but you want to have an idea that they're a thing in AutoCAD that allows you to give these fields that you can change. So in other words, it's text that's adjustable. And so here we've got the tags that was set up by the person who made this, which are actually pretty clear. You can see there it says scale, job number, and so on. But the prompt is not very clear. So when you first place the title block, it comes up with the prompt. But when you, again, double click to edit them, it comes up with both the tag and the prompt. And again, that's just a property of attributes. So you can see here, now that I've come into it this way, it's much easier for me to go and type in what I want those values to be. So let's say 1 to 50 might be the scale. Drawing name is going to be, well, this one might be for the second one there, which I'll just double check. Yeah, I'll do the RCP, so reflective ceiling plan, or just RCP. Okay, so I'll just click OK with those two things changed, and then we should be able to find those in the title block. Now it's hard to read because it's yellow, so I'll change that to a different layer. Oh yeah, sure, I'll show you again. Okay, so again, if you go to Insert and then choose More Options, and then Browse, it's on the P drive, and then EDC Interior Design, AutoCAD Library, and then Blocks 2D, and then Title Blocks. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm not saying you have to use this title block. I'm just showing you there how you can get some different title blocks. Blocks 2D.
Did you put it on its own layer?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just changed it.
Layer 4 title block?
No, I've put on layer 0, but I've got a layer for annotation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now I've got two title blocks on the page, and again, I'm just showing you how you can get some different title blocks, and then use these elements to make your own. So I said I wasn't going to show you how to make attributes, but I'm going to show you how you can use attributes that someone else has made. Okay, so how do you do that? Easiest way is to explode a title block that's already been made. Okay, so I've got two there now, and I'm going to select the one that we'd used previously, and click Explode. Now, maybe just notice the details that are in there. So it's got this address, the scale, the date, and when I double click, those are all the things that can be entered in that dialog box.
When did you explode it? You go double click?
You just select it once and then click Explode. So it explodes on the Modify tab. And so notice how now those fields say something different. So I'll undo that just so you can see it one more time. So as it was, it has the properties that we can change. But if again I select it and then click Explode, it goes to essentially what the prompts would be. So again, it can get a bit tricky when you first start working with these things called attributes, but that's what you need to use to create your own title blocks. So what I'd recommend is that you use the attributes that are already there and then modify those to make your own title block. So again here, this is another title block. So I can select that and again click Explode, and notice how some of these things have changed. So with those two title blocks though, I've got a good selection of attributes that I can then use to set up my own title block. So what you need to be careful of is the things that are text and the ones that are attributes. So how do you know which is which? Select an object, right click, go to properties, and then you'll see this one, it tells you is text. So in properties. So you can see over here, so this one's text up the top. So I'm going to select this thing that also says date to the right, and notice how it says there it's an attribute definition. Okay, so maybe if I just explain a bit more what an attribute is. So do you have an idea why we need to start using attributes with things like title blocks? So what is an attribute? What do you think an attribute is? Okay, so in this case, you can see all of these things that I've been calling attributes, they all have text. So in AutoCAD, an attribute always contains text. But it's text that needs to be variable. So on a title block, the drawing name is going to change. On each drawing, it needs to have a different drawing name. So you can't just have text that remains unchanged on a title block. If it's going to be part of a block, it needs to use this thing called an attribute, so that field called drawing name can be called ground floor, first floor, section. Okay, so that text can be variable or it can change, and that's what an attribute does for you. Okay, so it sounds probably more complicated when you explain it than it is when you actually go to use it, but they still are a little bit tricky. Making attributes, again, can be a bit fiddly, but when you've got attributes that other people have made, it's fairly easy. So again here, this is date, that's text. Okay, so if it's text, it won't change. And that makes sense. We wouldn't want this to say anything else. That's a label that says this is the date. Over here, this is where the date would go. Okay, so 9th of the, whatever it is, so 9th of the 4th. Okay, so that would go in that field. So that's the variable attribute. Okay, so again, you can use all of these fields. All you need to do then is change things like the line work and then move the text and the other things around. So you might decide, well, we want, let's get rid of properties. We want to keep the amendments. We don't want to have them over here on the right. I want to have the amendment similar to the way this one's done. So selecting that text and then going to properties, I can see it's an attribute. So it's set up for me to be an amendment. And do you know what an amendment looks like when you see it on a drawing like this? It's usually just a letter. So A, B, C that goes after your drawing number. So one way of using it might be to grab this amendment A and move it down to go with the drawing number down here that I'm also pretty sure is an attribute. And then I can decide, well, actually I don't want to keep any of these things, the date, the drawing number. I'm going to get that from this title block, so I can delete that. And I don't really like these lines, so I'll delete those. Coming over here, so the project address, here we've got job address, so that's okay, I can keep that. So again, that can be deleted. Maybe project description isn't really necessary, so I'll delete that too. But client name, have we got one? Yep, we've got one for client name here, so I'll keep that and again get rid of this one. Maybe I'll get rid of all those just so it's a bit clearer. But I like that copyright symbol, so I might keep that and move that over to this one. And get rid of this one. Oh, well, I've exploded it, so they're all just individual things now. Yep. And so we'll make all of it into a block in the end, but for now, I'll just move these lines and text and everything up to the sheet. And then you can go and either draw new lines or modify these to make them a bit neater. This is pretty messy. Also the text here, who knows what that business is, so we'll either delete it or put in your own. Oops. Okay, so I'm just going to double click on that, it should let me. There we are. Okay, so if it's text, actually a good little way of finding out, if you double click on something, if it's text, it'll let you type in what you want. But if it's an attribute, let's find one over here, that's an attribute, it comes up like this. And if it comes up like this, you probably don't want to change it. You don't really need to change any of those things. So coming back over here, so I'll put in okay, so you can put in whatever you like there, and maybe it's a chance to reformat it. So do you remember the easiest way to reformat things like text? So we can obviously double click to change the text itself, what's written, but then to change any of the properties or the format, remember the easiest way is to select, this works for anything, but definitely for text, select the text, right click, and go to properties. Okay, and so there we can change the size. So there you can see 2.5. It's actually quite small, but it's too big for this, so I'm going to make it, say, 2. And obviously we can see the change. So I'll just move that down. Okay, so then, again, don't be afraid to do these lines again. And, oh yeah, and again, if you're going to use this title block or even the other one, the easiest way to draw new things is to put them on layer 0. So I might decide, well, actually, I don't like any of these lines, so I'm going to delete them. And then draw my own lines. So yeah, these are all pretty terrible, I think, so I'm just going to start again. And again, just with line tool, come up with a new arrangement. Oh, now one thing I will show you how to change. This one here that says Amendment A, that's pretty big. It's probably too big, so I will double click on that one and just shorten that part. So where it says Amendment A at the top, I'm just going to change that to something a bit shorter. There we go. Okay, so that way, without making attributes, you can use attributes that have already been made to make your own title block. And it's an important thing that you need to be able to do. So I'll give you a little while just to try and set up your title block with, at least with new lines. You don't need to do new attributes or anything like that. But again, make sure you find an odd title block that you can explode and modify. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, oh, so that's the final thing. So, yeah, so I'll show you that now. So, okay, so I've got this set up, and let's say that it's the way I want it to be. I'd definitely go and do some more work on it, but for now, let's just say that's how I want it. So then the trick to making what's called a block is to select it all, just like that, and then start with the shortcut B for block, or on the ribbon actually you can just click create. And then you always need to give 3 things. You've got to give a name, so I'll call this my my title. That's the first thing. The second thing is the insertion point. So I'm going to click pick point. And I'll just choose the corner of the title block here. And then the third thing is the objects. So in this case, they're already selected. But you just need to check that. So you can see here it says 30 objects selected, and it's got that option convert to block. So I'm going to click OK. And now it's going to come up with all of these prompts, just like I did before. So I'll click OK. And that's now a block. Oh yeah, so that's another step. So, so just to test it out though, before I export it, you can see now that most of those fields have become dashes. So if I double click on the title block, just like I showed you before, it's sometimes easier to change it here. So I'll put in, say, a drawing number, which was this one here, drop DWG number, and we'll just make that, say, A101. Click OK, you can see that's gone in there. So it's working. If I go again to job number, that's the project number basically, so I'll put something else. So that's working too. And then maybe the scale. So what's that one here out at the top? So 1 to 50 maybe. There. And so just to finish up, I'll just do the date. Okay, so that's all working pretty well. So obviously that's a block, but we need to make it into, well, some people would say make it into a W block, but really what you're doing is you use W block to make it into a drawing, and then you can use it in any other drawing. So it's fairly easy to use. When you select a block, then you can type W and then enter. So W is the shortcut for W block. And W block just means write block or write block to a file. So here you can see it's going to let me choose a new path. And I'll choose where I want that new file to go. Oops, here. Yeah, that's right. Basically, it saves the block as a separate drawing file. Yeah, that's right. So here you can see it's got the same name, my title. And if I click save, everything else is set up already because it's a block. So it's got the insertion point and everything else set up in the block. So I'm just going to click OK. And now, if I went to another file, let's just go to this one. So now, that's probably a different page size, so I'll just clear all of that and just make my page size the same. So it's got to be A3. Okay, but now in this different file, I can go to Insert, just like I did before, Insert, More Options, Browse, and then find where I've saved that file. There it is, my title. Right, and it's going to come in exactly the same way as it was in the other file. Still needs a bit of work. W. Yep, W and then enter. Yep, so when you select it, W, enter, it comes up with the name automatically. But usually you need to just make sure you check the path where it's going to be saved by clicking Browse here, and then you choose where you're going to save it. Otherwise, everything else is done by setting up the block. So that makes it a lot easier. Exactly, yeah, that's right, exactly. Yeah. So we're going to be doing a lot more with blocks as we go through this. Title blocks are probably one of the most complicated, but you'll be using them for doors and windows and everything else if you haven't already. I know we looked at them a little bit with those, but we'll go further with that. And but again, I'll give you some time now to try and make your own title block. even if you don't get to the stage of making it into a block, at least try to get some lines drawn with the text laid out in the way you want your title block to be, and then you can put your own details in there, and again, make it a title block that you can use for your ongoing projects as well.